Hello and welcome back. So what we want to do here is before the teacher completes marking this test, they cannot set the test as marked. So let's make sure of that. So here if I click set as marked, it says you won't be able to mark questions after these actions continue. I can continue if I wanted to. So let me cancel that and let's see what we can do about it. So back here in mark test tab view, let me go to the very bottom where I have this set as marked, and I want to gather a so there is this marked percentage here, so let me copy that and let's bring it down here in there. So set as marked, and here I'm going to create a variable percent is equal to, let's put some PHP tags here and echo this variable out of here. So, and let's not forget the semicolon. So since it's a number, I don't need to put any quotes. So percent will be that number. Now, if that number is, let's say if percent is less than 100, right? If it's less than 100, then let's return because we cannot continue. Let's do e.prevent default and then return. But then let's do a an alert and say something like you can only set a test as marked after marking all questions. Okay, something like this. All right, cool. So let's give it a test run, shall we? So let's refresh. And let me just set as marked. So you can only set a test as marked after marking all questions. So maybe here we can say something, you have only marked, and then let's put the percentage there. Like this. Let's put some 2 pluses there and out like that, and then paste the percentage here. Let's put the percentage as well of the questions. So you have only marked, and then we put a percent of the questions. So let's refresh and let's try again. So you have only marked 75% of the questions. You can only set a test as marked after marking all questions. Okay, so that's cool. Now let's try and mark everything. So let's say wrong, correct, and let's save marks. So we've 100% marked. So let me confirm from every page. So this page is marked. Number 2 is marked. Number 3, let's see that, marked. Is there number 4? Nope, nothing. So it is 100% marked. And once we set something as marked, then we can, let's do that. You won't be able to mark questions after this action. Continue. Yes. And all that disappears. Okay. 100% answered, 100% marked. Okay, cool. So now we shouldn't be able to change this and click submit. So the submit button is gone, but we still have inputs here, which is not cool. So instead of these inputs, let's use font awesome to display an icon instead. So you can put images or PNG files if you want there. All we have to check for is if marked. So let me just copy this. So let's go to where this is right here. So it says if question multiple teachers mark. That's all good. But instead of all this, we should check first. So let's just say if marked if not marked like that, let me duplicate the end if as well, and let's leave some space here and move this. Okay, so then I can move these divs internal. Let me move this one step forward. All right, so if not marked, then we show this. So this is what will happen here. You see teacher's mark and everything disappears, except for the one on the multiple choice. That one should still have its inputs right here, as you can see. So let's make those babies disappear as well. It's right here, teacher's mark, and paste the if marked, duplicate the end if, move it inward a little bit, and let's move these divs inside as well. Leave some space here, close that up, oops, like so. Okay, cool. Refresh, and that's gone as well. But what we want to do now is put an else statement. So right here, I'll duplicate the end if and put else instead, full colon. And then here I just want to put a font awesome icon. So I'll get the I tag. Okay, what have I done? What have I done? I tag. And let's put our classes. FA. Now instead of a font awesome, you can put a PNG image here with a tick mark that you like. So this one is called check. Yes. So there are two of these. There's a check and then there's the times. So let me show you what these look like. They should be right here. Refresh. So yeah, there's a tick mark, there's a star like this one. So, and also let's put a div right here to cover both inside a div. This way we can increase the font size. I want to increase the font size for both, so I'm just going to say style and just say font size. Let's try 50 pixels. Let's go really big here, and there we go. So teacher's mark. So you can change the font sizes as you wish. No problem. Let's try 45. Maybe that's too big. Okay, that's cool. Now we just need an if statement here on which of these to show. So the if statement is right here. So let me copy that if statement, copy it and paste it here. So if my mark is equal to 2, yeah, this if statement won't work because okay, let's see. Let's just put this one and let me copy the check. So let me put it right here. Here I don't need to leave any spaces. I can just do that. And then cut the other one and put it in here. Okay. So if it's 1, it's correct. If it's not marked, it will be marked wrong. So, and let's come back here and see that. Okay, so teacher's mark, correct. Now you can move the marks to the other side by just floating them. So let's just do this and just say float end. That way it goes to the other side. Okay, so this one was marked correct, and then from this I can just copy this else up to here, the div, and do the same thing right about here. Okay, so let me do shift tab, and so this is on the other one, teacher's mark, because there are 2 of them. Okay, so at least now you see this is wrong, this is correct. Let's go to the first page. Correct, correct, correct. Next, correct, wrong, wrong. Okay, now if you want to display when it's not marked, you can put an if statement to check for my mark. If my mark is 0, then it shows that this question was not marked. Okay, so instead there you can put a different you can put a different icon there if you want to. So just put an if statement where you want and put that there. But for now, just see, because I have stopped the teacher from not being able to mark a test as marked if they haven't finished marking. So it's very unlikely that there will be questions that haven't been marked. So we can leave it at that. Also, they might try and lie to the JavaScript that, let me do this so I can show you what I mean. They may try to bypass the JavaScript, because keep in mind that JavaScript is a, so I've put 0 here on marked so that we can come back to edit mode here. Oh, sorry, set as marked should be removed. Let's do that. Okay, and let me refresh this. Let me put a 0 there. All right, so refresh and these things are back, so we can begin editing again. So what I was trying to say is, if a question is not marked, so let's try and go to the answers and put a 0 on one of these, just so we have the impression that one question is not marked. So refresh, and you see the marked level goes to 87% because one of the first questions here is unmarked. So if I click set, it will tell me you can't do this, but what I could do is just send a post request. So to prevent this, let me just copy this mark here, copy that, and take it into the mark test when we post here, right? So if the marking isn't up to par or isn't 100%, we are not supposed to even go through this loop at all. So the loop ends somewhere. Where does it end? It starts here and it ends there. So I'm just going to duplicate this and duplicate that as well, and move the for each loop that's inside a little bit more inward. And then here I'll just put a question, okay, an if statement, sorry. So say if the result of this, right, is a mark, right? So get answer mark. If the result of this is less than 100 or is greater or equal to 100, then we can go ahead. If it isn't, then we don't go ahead with this. So for as long as all the questions are not marked, oh, wait a second, this is not, oh, what am I doing here? Oh, I've put this on the wrong place. Sorry, let me copy this if statement and undo everything else. Sorry about that. I was doing the wrong thing. Undo. Okay, so where I was supposed to put this is here where we are setting as marked, set as marked. So I'm just supposed to say if is set, get set marked, and so let's put an and statement here. Let's paste that if statement in here. I'll remove the bracket and remove the actual if statement here. So if this and that, so let me make sure all the brackets are accounted for. If I remove this one, okay, so it's okay like this. Now saved answers is inside, where is saved answers? Is here. So there is a variable called saved answers, which means it's going to work there. And then what about question and question ID? Get answer mark. Wait. What is this ID for though? This is weird. Let me come back here for a second. Question ID. my answer. Oh, my mark. So I got the wrong thing here. I was supposed to get this, get mark percentage. So copy this. Sorry about that. Let's go back here and let's paste that in here. Yes, paste. Okay, so get mark percentage row test ID. Now test ID is just the ID in here. That's the ID at the top there that comes with the URL, and then user ID also comes in the URL. So this is all good. Okay, so if is set marked, and this is greater or equal to 100, then we can go ahead. So let's try this. Let me unmute. Let me go back to the view. Let me just allow these to pass by just setting percentage to 100, even though it's not so. So I'll set it to 100 and allow it to pass. So refresh, click, and let's say OK. So as you can see, it didn't work at all because of this number right here. Now let's try and set that number to 100, and then let's try and set this as marked, and now it has worked. Cool. So I'll remove this. Very good. Okay, so far so good. The only thing remaining is once we do this, we have to display the percentage that the user has gotten here. I'll see you in the next video.